Welcome back to Poetry and Police. My name is EVON Blake. I am an ex-detective corporal of police. I've served the Jamaica Constabulary Force for 22 years. Welcome back to my channel. Please, as according to guidelines of my channel. Before I go any further, as it is a norm, to big up all the members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Big up all the hard-working policemen and police women of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, who even at this point are doing foot patrols, mobile patrols, station guard duties, cell duties all around our beautiful island of Jamaica, and who are even involved in a shootout right now, because we know that it's possible in Jamaica. Like we always say, I used to work at the Hunts Bay police station, that Hunts Bay is a station that you can have a shooting on every street or a murder on every street for the night or even more. So, and that has become the norm, not just for Hunts Bay but for most places in Jamaica, because Jamaica now has a uncontrollable homicide rate. So uncontrollable that the United States of America has again given out a strict warning against its citizens to avoid Jamaica as a vacation spot. Certain areas, or most areas, that is. And it is very embarrassing for a country who depends on tourism to have that kind of rating by the United States government and maybe other countries around the world. So it's a downright disgrace. Even though I'm proud to be Jamaican, but sometimes I feel bad to be Jamaican as a result of our crime rate in Jamaica. So now, one of my subscribers asked me a question the other day, that what do I think about Chief Justice BRYAN SYKES? So, but before I come to BRYAN SYKES, big up all my subscribers. Remember, subscribe to my channel, share my videos, comment on my videos. Don't be afraid whether it be positive or negative. I accept all comments. Just keep it respectable. That's all I ask. Keep your comments respectable. Before I go to BRYAN SYKES, I must first congratulate the Director of the Public Prosecution, Paula Lowland, for that conviction that she recently got. I believe that it is attitudes like this and approaches like this to crime and violence that can only be the solution for our crime problem in Jamaica. You see, criminals in Jamaica must know and understand that if they commit themselves, they will be sent to prison. Whether they are rich or whether they have rich connection or not, they will be sent to prison. The criminals in Jamaica must understand that our judiciary system, along with our police officers, have no room for corruption, and no money that they have and no link that they have will ever get them out of whatever judgment they have found themselves in or whatever crime they have committed, that they will serve the time. They will go to prison and they will do the maximum penalty. So speaking about going to prison and maximum penalty, let us go back to the discussion that I need to have, or what I need to talk about. BRYAN SYKES. And as soon as BRYAN SYKES' name comes up, the Klansman trial comes up. How could it not be? Because this is the trial of, this is one of the greatest trials in Jamaica, one of the greatest arrests ever made of gang violence as it relates to gang violence in Jamaica, and this is one of the largest prosecution of gang violence in Jamaica, the prosecution of the Klansman gang, one of the gangs who are responsible for heinous crimes in Jamaica. from extortion to murder to everything that you can think about in Jamaica. The Klansman gang is involved in this. And one would have feel at ease to know that this gang is finally off the street, or this a dent is punched into the whole network of this gang. But you will understand later that it is not so. DSP Fitz Bailey, the leader of our team, the CTAC, carried out extensive investigation that has never been done in Jamaica before. Investigation that I felt so proud to be that I was a policeman, and I wish I was a policeman or even a part of that team carrying out the investigation, the way the investigation was carried out. I have no doubt in my mind, based off my knowledge of the case, that the police officers in this case, Fitz Bailey in this case, made sure that all the I's were dotted and all the T's were crossed. Everything was done. The police did everything. There was unlimited evidence to secure a conviction in this case, beyond a shadow of a doubt. But the great Chief Justice BRYAN SYKES did not see it like that. He practically threw out the case. So, as Jamaicans, as fellow police officers, and me as an ex-police officer, what do I have to say about BRYAN SYKES? Firstly, the question was asked whether BRYAN SYKES is corrupt or not. And I will answer that. In my opinion, I believe he is. Firstly, I do not believe in anybody in Jamaica that was appointed politically. That's the first thing with me. And BRYAN SYKES, his appointment is political. People might say that, well, Klansman gang is PNP, but BRYAN SYKES is appointed by the JLP government. But we need to understand that organized crime in Jamaica nowadays is not about politics anymore. Organized crime is about money. Take, for example, check out the Christopher Dudus Cook. He was in power in the Tivoli Gardens in what area? And under what rule? Under the PNP rule. But yet, he established. So therefore, like, people have said to me from time to time, gangsters on the street have said to me from time to time, when I was a policeman, that these guys on the street, they're not saying JLP and they're not saying PNP anymore. Basically, what they're saying is money. So whatever side, which party, whatever party is in power, that is what they work with, so that their organization can keep on, the mechanics of their organization can keep running. So now, I want you to listen to me carefully. No, if we have reached a stage in Jamaica where, number one, we cannot trust our police officers, we cannot trust our politicians, and to make it even worse, we cannot even trust our Chief Justice. Now, remember that a Chief Justice in any society, Chief Justice in any society should be a man above reproach, a man that can never be corrupted by anybody whatsoever, no organized crime, nothing. That is supposed to be our Chief Justice in Jamaica. And if we cannot trust our Chief Justice in Jamaica, where is crime and violence? As it relates to crime and violence, where is Jamaica going to be in the next couple of years? If we cannot trust our Chief Justice, worst if the same man is sitting in that office. A whole lot of Jamaicans does not even know what is the purpose of a Chief Justice. This man is the head of our courts. And if he's going to sit before a matter like the Klansman case and make decisions like these, remember, we are not saying the man is supposed to make decisions where there's no evidence, because we are not fools. As a former police officer, as an ex-detective, And other detectives out there, we are not fools. And people in the various communities that the Klansman gang were from, they are not fools. Because we have to remember that not all people in every community that these gangs are from are involved in crime and violence. People, you have good law-abiding citizens in these communities. And when they see these men are arrested and released, they lose hope in the system. They lose hope in their community. And this goes to show that if they're losing hope in the police or in the court system, then what do they have left to hold on to as Jamaicans if they cannot trust the law itself? So therefore, people are going to be backward in the sense that they're not going to give police information, because they are going to say, like, listen, if these people are charged, I give information, and these people are ended up charging, but yet they are released without any conviction when they have committed the offenses, then after the police has done their best, then people will lose hope in the judicial system also. So you see, Jamaica is losing hope in the police. They're losing hope in politicians, and now they're losing hope in the judicial system. That's the reason why many people, many Jamaicans who live abroad, now they're thinking about not coming back to Jamaica. People used to love to come back to their country, retire after they make some money in America or England or other countries. They used to retire, come home, build a nice house, and enjoy Jamaica for the beautiful island it is. But people are afraid nowadays. People are so afraid to come back home to Jamaica. I have a friend in England, I spoke to him from time to time. He was thinking about coming here and buying a house here and all of that. But based off our crime rate and based off our crime situation and corruption, this man is saying to me, like, Evan, listen, I'm not coming back to Jamaica because people are going to kill me. And the worst thing about it is, when people kill me, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to come out of it. So these are the fears that returning residents have who leave Jamaica and would plan to come back to Jamaica to enjoy the rest of their lives, to retire in peace. And people cannot have that, because the record will show how many returning residents in Jamaica have been killed over the past years. Because everybody feels that if you are a returning resident from England and America, then you're rich, you have money, so they want to rob and kill you for your money. That is how Jamaica is nowadays. And we are trying our best. Some police officers are trying their best, and a whole lot of citizens are trying their best to ensure that the future of our children and the future of Jamaica changes. But what are we planning to do? How far are we willing to go in order to let this possible? You see, we have to come together as Jamaicans, because we have to remember that these politicians in the country who allow certain things to happen, or allow organized crime to prevail in Jamaica, they work for us. Our tax money pays them. The people is the government, not the man in power. So when is the people of Jamaica going to take the power in their hands and decide that, listen, this man has to go because he's not doing anything for Jamaica. This commissioner has to go, he's not doing anything for Jamaica. This prime minister has to go, he's not doing anything for Jamaica. This chief justice needs to go, because as far as justice is concerned, it would appear as if he's on the other side. When are we going to put our foot down as Jamaicans, both abroad and abroad, and ensure that these things does not happen in the future? What are we doing now about BRYAN SYKES? The police cannot do anything about BRYAN SYKES, because the police in the particular case has sent all the evidence forward, yet no conviction came out of it. Out of that hard work and government money spent on surveillance and all of that, nothing came from it, because this man does not care about law in the country. For whatever reasons he has to do what he did in this case, then it's beyond our understanding. Because as far as I'm concerned, it has nothing to do with evidence of or the lack of evidence thereof. Because as far as I'm concerned, this case had evidence that should have had a conviction in the case. And like I said before, I'm not saying the man released people because there was lack of evidence. There was no lack. The case did not lack any kind of evidence. So I don't know what technicalities this man came up with his the end result of this case, or why he released the man. But as far as I'm concerned, this would appear to be corruption to the highest level of government to me. And I would think that the Prime Minister himself probably is upset about this. Must be upset, because if the Prime Minister is not upset about this case, then you can we can all say that the Prime Minister know what is going on if he's not upset about this. But from my understanding, I guess the Prime Minister is upset about this, very upset too. So if you're the Prime Minister of Jamaica and our Chief Justice has made a decision like this in a case, it is time for him to go. He should be fired forthwith and replaced forthwith. Anybody who's set in power and you're not serving the Jamaican people how you should serve the Jamaican people as it relates to law and order, then you should be removed from office within a day or two if you're not acting, or if you're acting opposite. That is how it's supposed to go. These people are supposed to be replaceable at any time possible. If you're not acting, if you're not serving the people in the right way, then you should be removed from office. Like I've been always saying to you people, Jamaica will never ever be the country it was a couple of years ago again if we do not take control of our crime and violence. If we do not take control of our corrupted leaders, if we do not take control of how our tax monies are spent and whosoever is placed into office, if the people does not play a role in who becomes the Commissioner of Police, who becomes the Chief Justice, and who sits in any public office, I believe, and any law-abiding citizen would believe that any man or woman who desires to lead the people of Jamaica, or who desires to sit in any form of political office or public office, so to speak, that their backgrounds should be checked thoroughly. And for you to sit in any of these kind of offices, then you have to be scratch-free. You have to be above reproach. That is all I am saying to you. Why are we keep having leaders or people in high places and people in government offices and people in public offices that have shady backgrounds, that have skeleton in their closets? That's all I am saying to you people, Jamaican people. Where is the investigative body for the police officer? We have Indicom, we have Bayside, we have so much different entities that are investigating the police. And plus we have the human rights groups onto the police. How? Why? Why do we not have a body in Jamaica that investigates anybody that wants to run for public office? That is the question I am asking. Why is there not anybody in Jamaica that is put in place to have thorough investigations done on politicians or done on candidates for public office? These are the things that we need to start to approach, and these are the things that Jamaican people needs to lobby for. You see, that's the problem with Jamaican people. We have a certain kind of people who are interested in politics, mostly in the ghetto community. These people comes up in Jamaica with most of the votes, but they are not so educated in the sense to find out who is this man, where is he from, is this man have a shady background? No, because people are politically tribalized, so they do not think about the background of the person running for them. All they think about is PNP, labor right. That's all they think about. There is a new party going around. I'm hearing about this new party. I see something, but I am saying to them that I don't believe that they have a chance, because Jamaican people are die-hearted PNP and JLP supporters, and that will never change in Jamaica. And this is one of the diseases in our system that is eating up Jamaican system, and this is one of the diseases in Jamaica that is causing so much crime and violence in Jamaica, because people are too die-hearted to parties. People are not thinking about the repercussions. People are not thinking about what this party has to offer for the country. What is the betterment? And right now, Jamaica's main problem is crime and violence. But the major problem underneath crime and violence is housing, unemployment, amongst other things. So our government and any government in power has to address these things. But before we even address these things or go to address these things, we have to address political tribalism. And who is going to address political tribalism? Certainly not these politicians, because they depend mechanics of political tribalism, because that is what gives them the vote. So that will never change, BRYAN. And if you sit down and really think about it, political tribalism, once we still have political tribalism in Jamaica, and in Jamaica will never change. The same thing is going to go over and over again like the water cycle. It's like a 360 degrees. It's going to go round and come again if we do not get rid of political tribalism in Jamaica. That is one of our major problems. That is where all the corruption is coming from. Votes, BRYAN. That is where all the problem is coming from. And if you don't sit down and analyze and realize that this is our problem, how are we going to stop crime and violence in Jamaica? How are we going to stop corruption in Jamaica? It's because of political tribalism. This is the root of all the problems in Jamaica. Political tribalism. You have a certain people to vote a certain way. Like people don't have their own minds to think. People are controlled and they don't even know that they are controlled by political tribalism. This is the sore in Jamaica. This is the disease in Jamaica that we need to get out. And until we get out political tribalism out of Jamaican society will never prevail as it relates to crime and violence. I'm telling you that. So like I've told you over and over again, our judiciary system is corrupt. Our police department is corrupt. Our political department is corrupt. Now, we need to get rid of this corruption out of all these various departments, but how? How? It comes down to political tribalism, like I've said to you over and over before. We can walk around and we can say this, I am saying this, I am saying that, we all are saying something, we all are commenting, and we are all talking about crime and violence in Jamaica and how to stop. We are blaming the police for crime and violence. Yes, we know some police are corrupt. Yes, they're not to be, I wouldn't say blame them, but get rid of them. But get rid of some of the politicians too. But the whole mechanics of political tribalism, we have to desensitize these people in certain communities to let them understand that, listen, you are free to vote for whatever you want to vote, who you want to vote for. This Jamaica is a democratic country. You don't have to vote for somebody because the whole community is voting for that person. That is the thing in Jamaica. Jungle, Rima, Tivoli Gardens, name all those kind of communities are run by Dans. These are political strongholds. These are communities that are run by political tribalism. You have a one Dan thing where everybody have to vote. So this is the corruption in Jamaica that we need to get rid of first. Once we get rid of political tribalism out of our system, out of our society, then people will have the freedom to vote for whomever they want to vote for based off what this person has put forward, that, listen, this is what I'm going to do for the country. And if you are put in power and your promises or whatever you inform the people, the packages that you offered to make this country a better place, and you're not, you need to demand elections. That is what people need to do in Jamaica. Demand elections. Demand that a prime minister, sitting prime minister, if he is corrupt and if he's not doing anything for the country, that he must be removed from office. In the United States, they call it impeachment. I have not seen anything in Jamaica set up like that. That if a man is so corrupt and is in the highest office in power in Jamaica, then he must be removed, then something has to be put in place for him to be removed. And that comes back down to the laws of Jamaica now. So we need to visit the whole of the laws as it relates to politics, as it relates to policing. We need those civil laws. Because we need certain acts to be put in place so a man can be removed from offices if he's not performing for the people of the country. So until we put all of these things in place, get rid of political tribalism, put all of these things in place, then you will find yourself getting rid of the corrupted judges, the corrupted politicians, and ultimately getting rid of corruption in the police department, because that is where corruption comes in the police department too. So that's what that's in my opinion, that's what I believe the Jamaican people needs to start lobbying about. Jamaican people, we demonstrate, we don't lobby. And that's the other thing. Laws need to put in place that Jamaican people can lobby for what they want. We are taxpayers, we pay our taxes, we are citizens of the country. We need to be able to lobby for changes, lobby for new laws the country needs to allow the people to do. And until we get rid of political tribalism, and then we give the people in Jamaica the freedom of speech, under the laws, under the Constitution, then Jamaica will never be able to